Hey everyone, Jesse here again at CRUX Interfacing Solutions, and today we're going to be talking about our SWRFD-60T and showing you just how easy it is to do an install in a 2020 and up Ford vehicle. In the box you'll receive the instruction manual, the interface, and also the wire harness. Now this interface will retain steering wheel controls, your navigation outputs, rear view camera, and also it works with the start-stop feature of those vehicles. All right, so today we're going to be installing a Ford Transit Connect. I believe the year is 2022. We're going to be installing the SWRFD-60T with a Kenwood DMX 4707S radio. The Transit Connect that we're going to be working on today is a little bit different. This one has sync in it, so we're not going to be using this video RCA for the rear view camera. We're actually going to be tapping some wires off of the sync connector itself, and we'll show you how to do all that later. So basically, what's great about our harnesses, you know, they're color coordinated, which match pretty much every aftermarket radio, every name brand one. You're just gonna start off by going color to color. All right, so I like to start off by stripping all my wires, getting them ready, putting on the tubing that you might be using if you're not using connectors, because you don't want to solder it, then have to disconnect it and then resolder it again just to put on the string tubing. Now, all the wires on our harness, the 60T, are already stripped. You just gotta pull off the ends and then you just start soldering wire to wire, color to color. Pretty straightforward, this part. If you're using connectors, you know, same thing, wire to wire. And now for the backup camera, we'll be doing that in the vehicle. Show you guys how to get that wired and set up in this particular vehicle. So I'll just do one wire so I don't have to bore you guys with this whole thing. And there you go. And then you keep going so on and so forth with each wire till you're done. All right, so we're all finished up with the wiring. It should look something like this. Pretty simple job to do, maybe 20 minutes at the most. All right, everyone, so we have the finished dash kit that we're gonna go install in the Transit Connect. This is what we kind of started with. We had to remove the vents and the pocket to put into the new dash kit. This particular vehicle has sync, so on the, as far as the rear view camera, it's not gonna be on the black connector that it, you know, like we have it wired right here. It's actually gonna be on the sync module, and we'll show you how to do that when we get to the vehicle. And yeah, let's go out there and take a look. Hey everyone, so before we do the install of the radio, this vehicle had sync like we had mentioned earlier. So when it has sync, you will not find the rear view camera on this RCA that's provided on the black harness from the 60T. You're gonna need to hardwire yours. So the way to do that is, once you have all the factory radio removed, this is your sync module right here. You're gonna unscrew it from here. There's 2 bolts each side. Here's the module. What you're gonna do is you're gonna unplug this 52 pin clip, which is proving to be harder than I thought. There you go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the casing of that 52 pin plug so it can give us easier access to the wires that we need to get access to. There's two little clips on the side. You can see them right here. You just open those up, it'll slide right off of the harness. You don't have to worry about knowing which way this goes because it only goes back on one way where those clips are at. So that's not a big deal. So after removing the clip, the 3 wires, technically 2, but you need to use 3 because if not, the video is going to be blurry. They are the white and green, which is the positive of the RCA, and then there is the blue and gray, which will be your negative, and then there's this other thicker stranded wire that's tied in with all 3 of them. I guess it would be shielding. You're going to want to put those 2 together, the blue, gray, and that black thicker shielding wire. You're going to want to combine those together because that's the only thing that's going to get rid of the lines on the rear view camera. Okay, so this vehicle is not ours, obviously. We're just testing on it, so we are not going to make those connections final. But the way I would do it is I would, since we're not going to be using the sink anymore, I would cut these 3 off. I would wire them directly to your RCA. So the white and green is going to go to the white wire on this RCA that's provided with the interface, which is the positive of the RCA, which means the tip. And then the shield from that RCA is going to be combined with these 2 wires right here to get the ground of the video portion of the RCA. We're just doing this to show you guys because obviously if you're going to do this at home or you're doing this in your own vehicle or a customer's car, you're not going to leave it like that. You're going to want to cut them off and have solder your connection terminals and stuff like that. But yeah, we're just going to do this to demo this. So that's how you do the rear view camera on the 2022 Transit Connect with sync. Okay, so now that we've wired the factory backup camera on the sync harness, I just want to show you guys that it works. There it is. I just got to get rid of the Kenwood guidelines, which is not that big of a deal. All right, so now that the parking guidelines are off, those are the OEM guidelines, so those cannot be removed, changed, or anything. Let me see if they actually, if they still turn with the wheel. Oh yeah, and they also, the moving guidelines also still function on the aftermarket radio, so that's a pretty cool feature that you still retain. So there's that. They go with the steering wheel, so it still shows you where you're going. So some lower end radios, the stop start feature of the vehicle will cause the radio to reboot. So right now we stopped, engine turned off. As soon as I let go of the brake, you'll notice the radio turns off for a split second and then turns back on. See? So if that's an issue you're having, you're gonna have to route the constant wire to a different location, and we'll be showing you that in the next video. So if you're having the issue where your radio turns off because of the start stop feature, we recommend you running your 12 volt constant from the radio, which is going to be on this black harness right here. We recommend that you cut that off, disconnect it from the actual radio harness. You're going to have to get a wire and run it down through your dash to the bottom, up to the center console right here. Right here, there's your cigarette lighter port is going to be 12 volt constant, and there is a plug down here. I just unplugged it, but it's an old Ford radio harness plug. I guess they had leftovers. That is now used to power up the cigarette lighter port, the USB ports, and the rear lighter ports as well. And the wires that you're going to be using, the wire that you're going to be using is the yellow with a red stripe. You're going to want to T-tap this, however you want to tap into it, and cut it, splice it, strip it, solder a wire on there, and then run it up. And that should handle the start-stop issue with the lower end radios. All right, so for the install of your aftermarket radio, once we have the wiring done, you would run your microphone for the Bluetooth wherever you want to put it. Usually it goes up here, then it's ran down the pillar underneath to the radio. We're not doing that because this is not our car and we don't need it. So what you're gonna do is first you're gonna plug in your two main harnesses, the gray and the black, which you go in there, and there. There's the interface already. The USB as well, you would usually run that to an easy access point, which when I was at a shop, we would have cut a hole in the cup that goes underneath the radio and we would have just run it out through there. We're not gonna do that again because it's not our vehicle. So this goes on first. This needs to be mounted first before you do anything else. And there's 4 Torx screws that go on the side of this. There you go. Line it up. That way it's one. So there's 2 on each side of the radio. They're gonna go down here. Last one in here. These are 20 bit. These are the Torx 20 bit size. So now that you have that, you have your antenna plugged in. You would have your all your powers, your speakers, your steering wheel controls also plugged in already. Now we're gonna go to the dash itself. So this goes in the factory pocket. We're gonna plug in our caution lights. Boom, that's that. This is gonna be for the airbag light, which comes through the bottom right here. And then we are going to stick this on. Let's see how much we struggle with this. Nope, not that bad. And there you have it, everybody. SWRFD-60T installed and ready to go in your 2022 Transit Connect. It will retain your steering wheel controls and your rear view camera, the moving guidelines as well, all the functionality of the steering wheel controls, voice command, the volume up and down, track up and down. And yeah, really easy install. Highly recommend. And please check us out on our next video.